put your brother before yourself. The greatest thing a man can do is to give up his life for his brother, care about others. And here's a kid who epitomized every single one of those virtues that you hear about.
Jared was the kind of kid who, you know how there's always one that's always at the emergency room? That was him. He was very outgoing. He always had that grin, and he was always up to something. And
it's that phenomenal smile, that grin that he had that everybody that knows him remembers. He was always looking out for other people. That's the way he was brought up.
I know he gave away a kitchen table to a family. It was a single dad that needed a kitchen table, so he gave this dad his kitchen table. I remember his roommate was so mad. But he was so quiet about it, he never talked about it. I think he just did what he did because it came from his heart.
Jared joined the Army because he wanted money to go to college, so he joined the National Guard first.
And there was some trepidation as to him getting in and what might happen. So I felt good, proud, but at the same time, really a little apprehensive.
He took it very seriously, so he left the Guard and went regular Army.
It really wasn't until I went to visit him at Fort Bragg in North Carolina that gave me the clearest picture of how he really was in the military. I got it. I mean, it was such a brotherhood. He was so close to them. And that's when I completely understood why he stayed in the military. He just loved his guys.
For a lot of people, the values that we live are just words. So Monti actually lived those values. They became a part of him.
His commanding officer came over to me, and he would call generals over and he'd say, "Watch Monti with his men." He just had a way with them.
He believed in his guys, and that's ultimately what it came down to. He was going to do whatever it took to take care of his boys, and that's what happened.
Sergeant First Class Monti's 16-man patrol came under attack by a superior force consisting of as many as 50 enemy fighters.
And all of a sudden, we just received a call that there were troops in contact.
Took fire, and we returned fire back, and it was just one bad thing after another.
Copy, danger close.
Jared then realized that one of his soldiers, Private Brian Bradbury, was lying wounded and exposed to enemy fire.
Reports were coming in slowly that we had received wounded. Bradbury had been shot in the shoulder.
With complete disregard for his own safety, Jared moved from behind the cover of the rocks. Twice he tried to reach Brian's side.
He was maybe 3 feet away from him, but every time he tried to get up, they'd start shooting at him.
Each time, rifle and RPG fire forced him back.
Brian was open, he was wounded, and they were still shooting him, and he saw that. He was being shot. And I think he could get him out of there.
Unwilling to leave his soldier wounded and exposed, Jared tried a third time.
He served his country because that was the right thing to do. Trying to save Bradbury was the right thing to do. That's all there was.
I've come to the conclusion, the only way I can live with it is that it was just his destiny. This is what he was meant to do.
He wasn't looking for glory. He didn't want to be a hero. But, part of the soldier's creed is you never leave anyone behind. He wouldn't. He couldn't.
The medal, he would be embarrassed, number one, to receive it.
I would say to you, "Do you believe this?" And he would say, "Yeah, I guess, Dad, but I was only doing what I was supposed to do." And he would have that shy grin on his face.
To him, it would represent every single soldier, Marine, sailor, whoever. This is for them. This soldier is for all of them, all of them.
Jared would want to be remembered as the guy that did the right thing, period.